You're listening to the All Burgundy and Gold Everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Post game show. The Washington Commanders fell to the LA Rams 28-20. I'm Wole, joined by my co-host Glenn. What's going on, Glenn, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm just hey, it is it is what it is, right?
It is what it is, right?
I mean, I said the Rams would probably pull it out, just because this team didn't show what they could do defensively. But we'll get it. We'll get into
a lot
it.
more now, man. They opened up Pandora's box, so
and I'm gonna go on record and say this: it is not a quarterback controversy.
I think it is, bro. I kind of think it is. We'll talk about not this season, but I just think in terms of in this future, I think it's a little different now. I think that move changed a lot. It changed a lot. We'll talk about it. But let's get to the particulars, man. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Search All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Gold Everything Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channel as well. All right, man. First off, before we get into that topic, we mentioned Sam Howell was benched in this game in the second half. First, your thoughts on this game. We'll get into Sam Howell, though.
Terrible game. Offensively, they couldn't move the ball. Offensively, and I'm not going to say all of it was Sam Howell either. Yeah. They couldn't move the ball. We talked about it on the pregame. I mentioned it on the pregame that the offensive line will have trouble with the defensive line of the Los Angeles Rams, right? And that was apparent today that they had trouble. It wasn't that and that they gave him time. Sometimes gave him time to pass the ball. He had to roll out different things of that nature. Some stuff was a little bit late. But let's be honest. The secondary of the Rams were playing well. They were playing well.
They were playing something. Go ahead.
They were playing. It was playing well enough, right? Well enough to and then I'm not giving Sam a pass at all, right? Some of his balls he threw, it was questionable. Yeah. Some of them, the coverage he threw him into was questionable. And there should have been more picks than he had, right? There are a couple picks that was dropped, right? Yeah. The one thought about was Terry into the boundary when the safety
that was dropped. That was actually dropped. Some of them I thought, like the one that John Bates, the one Bates dropped, like he threw it, hit him in his chest. He got it through. I think the commentator was like, that should have been picked off. He got the ball through. Bates just dropped it. Go ahead.
The interception that was tipped, that's not him. I don't blame that on him. Yeah. I never blame tip balls, interceptions on the quarterback because especially when it comes off the receiver's hand, that's an interception by the receiver.
Yeah.
That's in the receiver could cause that interception. But it is evident that the Washington Commanders, and this is the bad thing too, for those players, we talked about players being evaluated and players. You had Josh Harris and Magic in the house.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So you see in the body language, you see what's going on, and I'll put it this way: the Commanders are on the clock.
Yeah, they're definitely on the clock. Oh, they're definitely on the clock. So thoughts. It was a sloppy game all around the board. Defense was trash. They did some things in terms of stopping. They did some things that were getting certain stops, but they was trash. I think the Rams were able to move the ball down the field at will. You left Cooper Kupp wide open, which amazes me how Cooper Kupp could be left wide open.
The second
if anybody when you would leave wide open, it shouldn't be Cooper Kupp. Then you look at. I thought even though he was benched, I thought that Sam Howell's receivers let him down. I thought I saw a lot of drop passes, which annoyed me, especially on a kid who needs that. He's a young quarterback. He needs that. He needs momentum. He needs positive vibes. And if you're dropping passes and whatnot, that's not going to help. But also he wasn't sharp either. So I'm not taking any blame away from Sam Howell. He wasn't sharp either. But I felt like it was an overall team problem. The team did force a couple of fumbles, so I will give them credit in that aspect. They did create some turnovers. But yeah, I just wasn't happy with the play overall with this team after a bye week. We were crucified any other individual. I cruised by Scott Turner in his regime after a bye. I just wasn't happy with what I saw after a bye with Bieniemy, Ron Rivera, the whole team. It was a long bye. It was a bye week. You would think you would have a better performance than what we saw today.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you have a better performance. You should have a better
Mm-hmm.
performance than what we saw. From this team after a bye week. I mean, I said it on
Yeah,
the post show, right?
yeah.
It's a bye week. You should have a better outcome
Mm-hmm.
than what it is, and you as the organization and as a commander should come out with. You didn't see the intensity, right? You saw guys. It goes back to the Montez Sweat, right? You saw guys who's already cashed it in. It made the Montez Sweat statement of the week seem more relevant that you seen some guys who have already planning their vacation, right?
Yep. I don't think you see some guys. I think you see most of the guys. It looked like, and we'll get into match though. I'll put out there. Look, they quit on them. It looked like they're not playing for Ron anymore. It is what it is. Like there wasn't that fire. They didn't play for him. You know what I mean? Like that's just call it what it is. They ain't play for him. They quit. It's like they did mail it in. I didn't see any effort. I didn't see the energy. And I know, like, yeah, this has been a rough season. It's been obviously, a lot of these players had high hopes for this season, but I didn't see any effort. I thought the defense had quit. I thought the offense didn't. I didn't see any. Well, George put out there definitely the defense quit. Yeah, I just didn't see that type of effort. It's wild, man. It's wild. Like I just watching that game, I've seen bad teams. Like we've seen bad teams here in DC. We've seen bad teams in the NFL, and you could tell when a team is overpowered or just doesn't have the umph, right? I always reference this team because they're a bad team, but I watched the Arizona Cardinals. They fight now. They're overmatched. Excuse me, against the San Francisco 49ers, but they're fighting. Like they're not good enough to be the 49ers, but they're fighting. Like the Rams aren't a superpower by any stretch of the imagination, but they look like they can do anything with Washington. And I just did like Williams looked like freaking Todd Gurley. You know what I mean? Yeah, he had a couple fumbles like Todd Gurley, and he ain't that. Sorry, not
the holes will open up. The holes will open it up.
He ain't that great, bro. Like, come on. Like, then when they like even the last drive, when you have all your timeouts, Ron goes for your onside kick. All right, the first play he gets like an 8-yard run.
Right.
I'm like, where's the effort? Like, where is the say you ain't get this run? Yo, stopping the run is a mentality. That's a will. That's a me against you, mano a mano. I'm gonna take your soul. I'm gonna take your heart. You know they're going to run the football. You know that they're not throwing it. You know they're going to run the football, and he gets 8 yards easy, and he pushes the pylon. Go ahead.
This is a Ron Rivera defense, not Jack Del Rio, right? So it is Ron Rivera right now. Again, the attitude of Ron Rivera, the persona of Ron Rivera has trickled over into this defense, right? Mm-hmm. It's been on this defense. Again, you said it's a mindset. It has to be a mindset to stop a run. It has to be a mind. Those front two, even though Deron Payne had a couple sacks today, he was good. He was good. He was good. The mindset of the defensive line has not been that of because this team was stopping the run earlier, right? In the season, early in the year.
Yeah,
and even after even as Sweat and Chase Young left, they still were stopping the run. This team has, in the last couple of weeks, again, as somebody said, basically it's Cancun for 3. You know what I'm saying? Both units, but on 3. They're going to Cancun. This team has mailed it in. And I think we talked about earlier what teams we thought they could beat. They won't beat the Jets.
Nah, not like this. The Jets play hard.
Yeah, they won't be the Jets.
Robert Saleh's squads play hard to play.
This team will probably not win another game for the rest of the season.
I don't think so. I don't not what I saw. Like definitely not what I saw. That's my thing. Like there's certain points in a season in a game where you're like, oh man, you trying. Like you're putting in the effort. That was sad. Like here you go. Keith, this team is sad, just everything. Yes, everything. It's just it's terrible. Like watching, like for me, that last drive, knowing that you still didn't have a chance to win. I'm not saying you had a chance to win. It embodied a quitter. Like that last for the Rams to run it out, the way they ran it out, that embodied a quitter. Like I would again, I'm gonna say it again. I would understand if you had a bruising back. Williams ain't that dude. The dude got hit early and literally carried linemen to get 8 yards on that first run. Bro, that's quitting to me. Like that is quitting. That's like we had enough. No mas. It's a wrap. Like you literally like said, I'm done with this out. I'm done with this Sunday. I don't want to compete anymore.
I give you a better one. What was quitting to me was the even the last touchdown seemed as if this team had quit.
I got
because it took them 8 plays.
Yes,
right?
From the 1 yard line.
8 plays from the 1 yard line. It was like practice. 8 plays from the 1 yard line to get in, and you had to get in on a pass, right? Yeah. So if you wanted to set the tone and the wheel, we talked about it. Offensive line setting on the tone. We want the ball when it's 1 yard line, right? We want the ball when it's 1 inch. We're calling our best play. We're going to get into the end zone, right? It does seem like this team rallied behind Jacoby Brissett just a little bit, all right? But they did rally behind Jacoby Brissett. He was getting the ball out much quicker. He was doing things that Sam Howell hadn't. But guess how many times have we seen that the backup quarterback always get love, right? The backup guy always gets a little bit more feel. Not saying that Sam is. According to Ron Rivera in this press conference, I was kind of listening to both. There is not a controversy. They're going to evaluate it throughout the week and see how it goes.
You already know what it means. That's all right. That's enough said.
That's
our language. That's our language.
You know what the language is, right? That's the language. We're going to evaluate it because he was been asked. We're going to evaluate it in the week, see how it goes. Jacoby Brissett is auditioning for another team.
Sam. You saying Howard, Jacoby? Which one?
Jacoby is
on. They both are. They both are. Mark Anderson.
So hold up. See, that's a lot. That's a lot to say. When you say they both are, that means the Washington Commanders are on Caleb Williams' watch.
Yep, sure are. And May. I know exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
There's 2 quarterbacks on. There's 2 quarterbacks that can fall to them. There's 2 quarterbacks.
Okay. So we just want to be clear.
I know exactly what I said. I'm going away from Marvin Harrison Jr. to like now we're talking about stuff. Now we're talking about something I didn't want to talk about. But yeah, that's what we're going to. Mark Anderson said the Rams are running tight. We can't stop the running. We can't stop the run at all. We will not win another game this season. The players that we have on this team have given up. I agree. I totally agree.
Totally agree.
My man Keith said it's time for the backup quarterback. Yep, sure is time for it. But that's what it seems like it.
But we all know Jacoby had a good offseason, good preseason anyway. I thought Jacoby the veteran.
He's solid.
He's a solid veteran. I mean, let's be honest. He's a solid. He's a solid veteran, right? Yeah. We getting the quarterback 1,000%.
I'm telling you, dude. We know the story now. Look, there's no reason for me to look. I ain't even. Y'all know I like Sam, so it's like I would love Sam to come back, but I already know what time it is. And
Sam's coming back, but he's just going to come back.
He's back up. I mean, if you're getting Drake, if you're getting May or Caleb, he'll back up. So yeah, look, man, I'm all for it. I get it. I understand. I'm just saying, like, it's Caleb. I don't want Jaden. Everybody, I don't want Jaden. I want May. It's I know Doug. I see you, Doug. Yeah, I mean, I'm not Doug. I see you, George. Nah.
George would be. I want Jaden. I remember Jaden last week.
I want Jaden.
I missed Jaden on the podcast.
You had Jaden on. You had it. Oh, did you?
Remember we was on the podcast. On this past week on the podcast.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, you said you did. I don't trust. Yeah, I want the sure things. I know May and Caleb are as sure as it can be. I'll put it that way. I think they're as sure as it can be. Because they've been talked about throughout their college careers from the jump. But yeah, it's wild. Now we're talking quarterback. I'm not even trying to talk quarterback. I feel bad for saying we here now, man, because I felt like this benching kind of like it upped it all. You know what I mean? It upped it all. But
whose decision? EB's or was it EB decision or was it Ron Rivera's? I never got that who made that decision to bench Sam Howell.
I would say it was Ron's. That's what I would say. I would guess it's Ron's, and I could be wrong. You know, Keith said a QB then O line. I see it coming. Yeah, and it's wild because I want the kid from Penn State. I still do, but
I still
I
do
gotta
too.
be real. I gotta be real. It is what it is. This is where we at. This is where we at.
Is there a possibility that you keep Jacoby and Sam and forego both of those two guys?
Nah,
And to get an O lineman?
nah, because you got a new regime, man. You got a new regime. A new regime usually starts with the
But
quarterback.
again, if I put
So it's
a
the quarterback.
what if I put a quarterback behind that no O line situation?
They'll probably do it, my man. They'll do. Look, man. No, everybody does that all the time. They'll just draft accordingly. They'll just draft a quarter, but they'll draft a lineman in the second round. They got 2 second rounders.
Yeah,
They may feel comfortable and say, "Hey, we'll draft tackles in the second. We'll sign somebody." We can't compare it. This is what I will say. We cannot compare what we've been dealing with, you know what I'm saying, like to anything else, because we only know what we know. We know how Ron Rivera operates, right? So he may not. Ron Rivera wouldn't get a tackle in free agency. He wouldn't, draft a tackle in the second round, right? We know this is how Ron Rivera is. A new dude would be like, "Oh, we're gonna draft a quarterback in the first. Or we gonna make sure we take care of him. We're gonna sign a good tackle, or draft a good tackle." You know what I mean? Like, so they'll think ahead. Ron Rivera didn't think ahead. You know what I'm saying? And it's here you go. Keith said another sad thing is EB is gone after this year, 1 and out. He sure is. It's wild, man. We here now. This is where we at, Glenn. This is where we at. But you know what I mean? So this is so crazy. They decided to bench Sam Howell like in a meaningless game. Like they weren't even gonna come back. That's what gets me. You weren't gonna come back for real, but
right. That's the thing too, though.
That's the game that got me. I'm like, there's other games you could have benched him for, like
the Bears game.
Yeah, you could have.
The Bills game. You wanted to bench.
Bills game is the Bills game for real. Dude.
Yeah,
definitely a Bills game. So I'm gonna listen. I want to hear the chat, man. People listening on all our platforms right now. Do you feel that this team totally quit on Ron Rivera, or is they just a terrible squad? One way or the other. Like I want to hear from y'all. Do y'all? I've heard a few already, but do you feel like this team has totally quit on Rivera?
I think this team has quit. They've been quit. The players quit. I think now they quit and they've been quit on EB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looks. Who did they quit on EB?
Yeah. Well, not all of them, but I think some of them have starting to pull back a little bit. They're playing hard. Mm-hmm. You see, like today was one of Terry's best days. I think Sam Howell was 26 for 11.
Okay, I do have a discussion. Go on, once you go there, I do want you to go.
Yeah, go ahead. I think today was one of Terry's better days. I thought that they passed the ball. I thought Chris Rodriguez ran hard, right? I thought he ran hard. I thought Antonio Gibson has gotten better. So again, Curtis Samuel did what Curtis Samuel did. 2 touchdowns today for Curtis Samuel. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that's why as pregame, I like Curtis Samuel in this offense. I like Curtis Samuel with this team because he to me he's that type of dog that wants the ball. So is Terry. But Terry showed today that he is when you get him the ball, he can be the one of the top receivers. He's dynamic. He's dynamic.
So I do have a problem. I felt like, all right, we'll talk about George. George said it's both. They are terrible, but Montez Sweat said it in Chicago, and they definitely quit. I felt like that chatter about getting Terry the ball. I thought Sam was force-feeding Terry too much in the first half, and I thought that's the reason why the offense was stagnant. I felt like there was too much into getting Terry the ball.
Yeah.
And that was my issue. That's why I felt like that first half wasn't as good as it could have been. Because I felt like, again, you can only do what you're comfortable with, right? And I felt like Sam was out of his own game because he was trying to get Terry the ball. And then when he thought Terry was covered, then he was kind of like, oh, I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Sam needs to be Sam and spread the football. That's what he does best. He does best spreading the football. He is not a guy that can just go on one person and throw in the football. That's not his game. And I felt like watching the game initially going that first half, I was like, dude, you're all you're doing is staring down Terry. It's like, just play your game. Like when you talking about Glenn, he threw the ball in double coverage. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, let me just throw the ball to Terry. Like it gets to a point where you just gotta, for him, we said this. He is better when he spreads the football around. He is better. Oh, Sam Howell's at the podium.
Yeah, Sam's at the power podium. Let's see what we can. Let's see what
Okay.
we can. Let's see what we can glean from this. See if we can get anything
Okay.
out of this.
Ron pulls you out there late, says he wants to take care of you. Have you talked to Coach Ed? How did that conversation go?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of how the game was going. Yeah, I mean, they just kind of told me they were gonna take me out there, but it is what it is. I got to play better. And we had some things there on offense, and we did some good things throughout the game, but just wasn't good enough. I got to play better, got to play better. So it is what it is. I know I'm not defined by this one game or anything like that. So keep going, keep trying to get better.
And did Ron make clear that you're the guy next week? He told us that. Have you guys talked about next week?
Yeah, honestly, we haven't spoken about it. But yeah, I mean, just gonna try to keep doing what I can and taking it one day at a time and keep trying to be the best player I can for this team.
It seems like the last couple of weeks things have slowed down a little bit offensively. Have defenses shifted something they're doing, or what has changed?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's hard to say, and if we knew what the issue was, we'd fix it. But I think what it comes down to is we just got to execute better, and that starts with me. So it's been an unfortunate couple of weeks. Obviously, wish we could go back and do it again. But reality is we can't. And all we can control is how we move on from this point and how we finish the year.
Yeah, I wanted to stop.
Go ahead, you good.
Stop right there. And the reason I want to stop there is you see Ron Rivera lying again, right? Ron's press conference said, "Yo, Sam's a starter." I talked to him. Sam's like, "Yo, he ain't talked to me. I could. What's the spin here with Ron, right? If you're gonna pull a guy, if you try to audition or you try to do different things, right? Let that junk fly. If you want to, you already killed the young man's confidence, and we've seen this before with them killing. You've seen this before with them killing people's confidence. They did it with Emmanuel Forbes. They did it with Sam Howell. Let him play out a game. You mentioned it a few minutes ago. It's a game that wasn't going to win anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna put like a couple other reads.
Okay.
George said you're right about that. While Sam was worried about Terry that he missing wide open guys. I just thought he was. I know. I just felt like he was overdoing it with Terry. Zool said, I think the team honestly, I think the team honestly just ain't good right now, especially our coaches, just like our second team, or just like our sound team, which both coaches and sound need to be fired. I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, my bad, bro. James Jackson said, "We don't have coaching. I feel like we are the Washington Carolina. He need to go out his character, but he brought the same. We coached him from his losing Panthers when he got fired. Yeah, I feel you on that one, my man. What else? Keith said, I have no clue what type of coach our team needs next year. This is scary. Totally agree, bro. My man Mark said, it is what it is. Play better, not with this Ron Rivera offense. Yeah, I hope got a couple of other ones. Hold on, my man said, I felt like, okay, here you go. I felt like Sam isn't 100%. EB's play calling has just been so odd. Like, I don't get it. Like, Scott Turner's play calling was bad, but at least it works sometimes. You won't get me off on that one. James also put, James Jackson said, get us front office that isn't scared to pull BS, and we will be great draft online. We'll be a great draft, O-line and linebackers.
Hey, but one thing else that I've heard Ron Rivera says too, he said, when asked why did he pull Sam Howell, because he did answer that question.
Yeah.
And he answered that question by saying he pulled him because he wanted to protect him
from getting hit.
Right.
He always say that. He said that last time.
Yeah, he said his reason for pulling Sam Howell, based off his press conference, is that he wanted to protect Sam Howell. Do y'all call BS, or do you let us know? Is it BS or what?
It's BS.
I'm gonna throw it to you, Wally.
It's BS. No, it's BS. No, it's BS. He pulled him because he like the quote unquote they want to spark. They weren't doing nothing. 7 points. I mean, he wasn't sharp. That's a fact. I'm not going to even. Yeah, James said BS. My man James said BS. He wanted to spark. That's what it was. But also, I feel like I think a lot of people are worried about outside stuff. That's my problem. Like folks just need to play their own. Like if you were on a football field, if you're a coach, do what you need to do, bro. Like to make you an effective play caller or an effective for Sam to be an effective quarterback. I feel like people are worried about other things or what people are saying. Like play your brand of football. That's it. That's all we all want. Because I feel like you play your brand of football, you'll get a better outcome. And I don't think they played their brand of football. I don't think Sam played his brand of football. I don't think EB called his brand of football. Like, yo, we all respect Terry, and it's cool. Terry's great. You know what I'm saying? He had a great game. But force feeding him the ball doesn't always give you W's. You know what I mean? And a vet can do a little bit better than Sam Howell. Well, a vet, especially if you're a journeyman. If you're a journeyman, you're already going to always go to your number one. Like you're going to throw the ball up there and go to your number one. Like that's what you do. That's what Taylor Heineke did. When you were a journeyman, that's what you do when you're a backup quarterback. If you are a type of dude that plays better spreading the football around, then play that brand of football. All right. We don't get mad at Tom back. And I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but Tom Brady spread the football around. Even when he had even his couple years when he had after Randy Moss's wild season, he would spread the ball around even more to when that was Wes Welker on the squad. Yeah, I don't know if Wes was on the squad or it was what's his face, the other kid, Edelman. I want to say it was Wes, but it was Wes. He would spread the ball around. So even Tom Brady spreads the ball around, and honestly, he likes spreading the ball around more than he liked throwing to one dude. So like the whole notion of he has to get the ball to this person, he has to. Some of our best quarterbacks ever love to spread the football around and makes them better football players. So for Sam, that's what he does best. When we watch Sam play and say he had a great game, we don't ever look at it like, damn, he just force-fed Terry throwing the ball. We never looked at it that way. We was like, he spreads the ball around. Everybody getting touches.
Yo, today, Terry had 12 targets, 6 receptions.
That's what I'm saying. I'm being real. Like I'm not even looking at the stats. I'm not even looking at the stats. I'm telling you what I saw. I'm not even looking at stats. Like I know they were force feeding them. That I felt like the game plan was like, okay, we got. All right, this is how I really feel. I'm gonna keep it a buck. His stats are low. We gotta get his stats up. It wasn't about winning the football game. That's my opinion. And somebody can argue with me all you want. My opinion of the game was it wasn't about let's win this football game. It's like, okay, the whole talk going to it like we got to get Terry involved. It's cool, get somebody involved, but get somebody involved in the flow of the game. You don't like if he killing like all right. If CeeDee Lamb is killing a nickel cornerback, yes, I'm going to fry that nickel cornerback. I am going to CeeDee. I'm getting that matchup. But if it ain't about helping me win not helping me win a football game in the flow of winning a football game, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not winning football. Winning football isn't about all right. We just gotta make sure he get right. That's more playing to someone's ego more than worried about winning the football game. Keith said, question of the day: if other head coaches are getting fired in season, then why the crap did the owners decide to keep Rivera here? Oh, I got this one. You want to handle this, Glenn? Or you want me to handle it?
I'm gonna handle this one.
Handle it. Go ahead.
Because the guy they want to replace him is not there, and they're gonna clear, and we know they're gonna clear the organization, right? So why not keep Ron Rivera here? He let him run the fundamental day-to-day stuff that he's already running. Because remember, if you're not just firing a head coach when you fire Ron Rivera, you're firing also a general manager. There's still some things that need to be in place, or needs to be transactions that need to take place throughout the day-to-day. Put players on IR, take players and put players on a practice squad, pull them up. Those are the decisions Ron Rivera making people don't understand because he's essentially the head coach in GM. So you don't want to fire him now because then you will fill a void in the GM spot unless you have somebody else ready to take that GM spot. It's not more so the coaching spot that you can't fire Ron Rivera from. They can't fire Ron Rivera right now from the GM spot and have somebody in place to really run the day-to-day GM stuff of this team. And we know that Ron is not the guy for this team. We talked about it on the podcast. He's lost his team already, right? He's been lost his team. But again, and Ron Rivera is doing the right things because again, it was Ron Rivera who said, it was Ron Rivera who said, let me fire Jack Del Rio, right? Let me get rid of him. Ron Rivera is making those decisions. That was the GM. That was the GM Ron Rivera, not the head coach Ron Rivera said, okay, since I'm the GM, let me fire my friend. Not to save my job, but I got to do something because I need a place here. I can call defense, but I can't replace the GM. So that's why that's my theory why they haven't fired him yet. But when these 3 weeks are up, Black Monday, I'm not even say Black Monday, Black Sunday night, depends on when they play the Cowboys, based off the Cowboys schedule and what the Cowboys are playing for. That game is still TBD, to be determined, because the Cowboys will be playing for they're playing for something. The division today they clinched the playoff spot. So the Cowboys and the Eagles are both clinched the playoff spot today. The division was clinched by San Francisco. So in 3 weeks, the Cowboys will be playing for something. We don't know if that's going to be a Sunday night game, a Sunday afternoon game, not because of the Washington Commanders, all because of the Dallas Cowboys. So if it's a Sunday night game, when the Cowboys defeat the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera will probably be fired.
Yeah, I just feel like the owners are like, bro, this is all you. I'm cute a buck. I'm gonna use this as street as possible. This is all you. You did this. You built this. I don't want to touch this. I don't want your mess on my hands. So you got this. And the next season, it's all me. I ain't here to save your mess. This is your mess. I'm gonna give you this whole year to work with your mess. They gave him the whole year, and now he about to be out. That's it. They don't want to put any residue of Ron Rivera on their fingertips. I'm gonna keep that a buck. That's how I look at it. Like, you don't want to touch failure. Failure is his thing. That ain't your thing. You come in here new, like you the shiny new toy. You fresh, like you fresh, like so you want to work. You want to build your brand on your accomplishments only. This is all Rivera. This ain't nothing to do with them. So that's how I look at it. I feel like, bro, this you gonna have to deal with this. You know what I mean? So, but George also put out there, that goes back to what Terry said 2 weeks ago about getting his cardio in. That stung EB and Sam.
You're right, George. It did.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
But it stung them. But he got Terry also. That shows the immaturity of Terry, because Terry got to realize the quarterback is going to throw to who's open, and every receiver wants the ball, right? Yeah, T.O. wanted the ball. Jerry Rice wanted the ball. We can't always throw contested throws because Terry doesn't always get the contested ball. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man, everybody. This is the thing. When you're a young quarterback, and you already see how this base is. He forces the ball to Terry, and it's picked off. Who gets blamed? Terry or the quarterback?
Quarterback.
So it is what it is. James said at trade deadline they should have traded Curl and Allen, not Swift or Chase. We can't get to the QB to save the team's lives. We talked about this. I talked about that trade. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, I was in favor of keeping both. I mean, I'm cute about it. But yeah, man. I mean, I'll say this for all the people out there. It was like, this is not for this for folks who were clamoring, who compared James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill to them other dudes. Y'all see it's a big difference, because some of y'all was saying like Casey Toohill has just as many sacks as whoever, and you see the difference. Because how many times have you heard it's different when you the starting defensive end? It's much different. That I will say. Mark said it's all about playing your brand of football. Whatever happened to the 80s football, Joe Gibbs type of football and his type of players. I agree about the quarterback moving the ball around. I'm all about the brand of football. That's my thing. Playing your brand. Whatever your brand is. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your brand is and whatever you're comfortable in running, I'm like, yeah. Armand, my man, he came back. I was about to say, I was looking for you, my man. He said, is there a quarterback controversy, fellas? Yep, sure is, Armand. Sure is.
No,
it is a quarterback controversy. No. They have opened the Pandora's box. That's what you talking about. You don't think so? You believe Ron? You believe Ron?
I believe Ron.
Oh man, I'll never believe that dude.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I believe Ron. Right?
Hey, go ahead,
I believe Ron in this. I believe the reason that he pulled him was BS. I believe Ron said, you know what, he can't go against what he said earlier. There, Sam Howell is his guy.
What's the next game against? They get San Fran, right?
San Fran.
Yeah.
Sam Howell.
It's a quarterback controversy.
Sam Howell starts that game.
Oh yeah. He's not finishing that game. It's a quarterback controversy. I know.
Sam Howell starts that game.
He can start the game.
San Francisco.
He can start the game. He's not finishing the game.
Why? Could they knock him out?
Man, that's a different defense, bro. That's different defense, dog.
It is the. I like I said.
Oh, it's the Jets. They got the Jets Nets. Oh, no, sorry, they got the Jets Nets. They don't got.
Oh, it's the Jets. Oh, it's Jets Nets. Oh, yeah. Then
yeah, I'm
he started again. It's the Jets. It's Jets, San Francisco, then Dallas. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a chance. He's Jets. The Jets
he'll start that game.
Oh, he'll start that game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, James, would you believe in Trump or Rivera to win? I don't know, bro. Okay, I don't even know. I won't even hold you on that one, bro. I don't even know. My man asked how many sacks Washington had today. I think they had 0. Oh, they had 3. They had 3 sacks. Deron Payne killed. They had 3 sacks. James, they had 3 sacks, my man. Oh, Sweat. Oh, how many sacks Sweat? Oh, Sweat had 2.5. I think he had 2.5 sacks. Sweat had 2.5 sacks. George said, "Yeah, that addition by subtraction, that unnamed Commanders official talked about after Trace Young was traded. That hasn't worked out, has it? I mean, it is what it is. Leaks are leaks.
Leaks are leaks. You always gonna have leaks. This organization always have leaks, right? You always got the whistleblowers, right? You got the guys who talk trash.
Leaks, man. People are some people are happy. You know how it is, man. Whoever that person was, they feeling good about themselves right now, I guess. Let's see. Toy said, "I'm ready for Ron to go. I appreciate everything he's tried to do, but his time here is done." All right. So this is the thing about this Ron thing about, I do want to kind of talk about this. I'm glad you put it out. Thank you, Tay. Appreciate it. I'm a football fan. First and foremost, I don't really care about character. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care about character. I care about wins. That's all I care about.
Wins.
I won't lie to you. Like, bro, if I worked in the building, I would care about character. If I worked in the building, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan first. All I care about is wins. So if that makes me a bad person, oh well. I care about wins. So for Washington, when Ron coming to DC. 7-9 and 7-9 or 7-9 that first year. It's not, they get the 1 year extra, right? 7-9, they won a division. Was like 7-9-1 again. 8-1. They're always they're like Washington's what? They're not. Ron hasn't done anything. Ron hasn't been over 500 yet since he's been here. So I don't ever. Like Ron isn't up. Ron does nothing for me in terms of like changing the culture of. I don't like you've done. Jay Gruden has had more winning seasons here in DC than Ron Rivera had.
True.
So why would I like? I don't like Ron hasn't changed anything to me in terms of winning football games. That's my problem with Ron.
I'm gonna ask you this then: if he hasn't changed it, has Ron Rivera set this organization back?
No, he's kept it the same. To me,
okay.
to me as a fan, I can't speak for people who work inside. I can't speak for folks inside the building who work in the who work for the Washington Commanders. Like they could tell you that they've changed it, the morale of the team, like the morale inside. But I only care about on field.
Right.
So when I watch on field, it's no different from Jay, because Jay, we would have the same feeling.
So,
again, Jay got us to the playoffs. Jay was over 500.
Mm-hmm. Yo, you talk about over 500. This is Ron, for those who watching, his Ron Rivera's record, right? Carolina 2011, when he first got there, he was 6-10. Carolina in 2012, he was 7-9. 2013, he was 12-4, right? They lost to the 49ers in the divisional game. 7-8 the following season. All right, did make the playoffs. They was the only team that made the playoffs at 7-8. That show you how bad the division was. He made the playoffs, right? He won their conference, the South, 3 years in a row. Then the following year, 15, they went 15-1, and they lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Then he went 6-10. 2017, 11-5. 2018, 7-9. In 2019, when he got fired, it was 5-7 at the time. He comes to Washington. Most wins he's got was last year was 8-8.
It was 8-1.
8-1, yeah, and they finished 4th NFC East. This is what people are not talking about.
Now,
this team may not win a team. This team may not win a team. They may not win a game in the division.
Look what Ruben just said. He set us back with his choices of players and who he kept over and let go. Yeah, he let go. So to your point,
he set us back. That was my point.
He may set us back. Like to me on the field, he has. I won't even hold you. Like on the field, I don't see him doing anything different from anybody. Like on the field, like I can't speak for what stuff inside like corporational stuff or personnel stuff in terms of front office stuff. Like you're not going to get me on that type stuff because that's not me. Mm-mm. That's not. As a fan, I don't care about it. To be real with you, I just don't.
And none of his draft picks really panned out.
You drafted players in the second round to be backups.
Yeah,
like Quan Martin's a backup, and you use your second round picks as starters. So like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like, y'all can go ahead and say he's this, that, and the other. Like he's changed the culture. He hasn't changed anything to me on the football field. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that one for yourselves. Y'all can keep y'all can keep toting that little agenda line all you want. Gear Sale one said this entire team is like a man wearing sandals with some black socks and yoga pants with prints on the
And it's tragic. It's bad.
Oh man, you stupid.
It's terrible though, man. It's terrible. Man. Team has a setback because again, you should have offensive linemen. Look at the picks. Just go back to the picks. We talked about the picks that he missed, right? We talked about Christian Gonzalez, right? We talked about some of the old linemen that he missed. And I'm nothing against Ford, but I think Ford will be okay eventually. Right? Eventually. May not be with this organization, but eventually, right? Yeah. He never met, to me, as Ron Rivera's tenure as coach, he never met the need of what his team needed. They needed, ever since he was here, they needed a linebacker, they needed an offensive line, and he never met that need.
I agree. He keeps ignoring the obvious.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He keeps ignoring the obvious. And you keep doing that, like everybody else is saying here, like just like I've been talking about on field stuff, you ain't changing nothing. Tay said he talked about he talked good, but I need more than that. When he gives up on us, it's hard to stay up on him.
Yeah, nobody wants to play in Washington.
My man James said nobody want to play in Washington. Stuff said I ain't gonna try to. Man, stop trying to curse, man. We trying to limit the curse words, man.
Not even the Wizards.
Hey, James, man, we trying to limit the curse words, bro.
Tell us how you really feel, though.
I know, I want your emotions, though. But just limit the curse words. Yeah. You're my guy right now. You my guy because you doing it, bro. James also put out there our best draft pick ever was Sean Taylor. Yeah, Sean was the best.
Yeah, but it's not made by Ron. So I mean, I told you how I feel about the Sean Taylor thing. I think they overuse it. They overuse it.
Force will get great. It will be great. All right, Armand, chill. Force will be great in the CFL. Chill. Like you going too ham. Chill, bro. D. Spriggs said, I think Ron was in too deep for our responsibility, and he basically ran the show and was not good at it. I mean, he didn't lie. He is exactly as what his resume states. Average Ron and with a CEO position.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
He's 500 at best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's 500 at best.
Average. I agree with that. This is what Spriggs. I've always said this. Like you don't give a coach like a coach who hasn't won a Super Bowl or hasn't had like that impressive, who hasn't won a Super Bowl. This is my opinion. You don't give a coach who hasn't won a Super Bowl all that power. Usually coaches who win Super Bowls have all that power. He hasn't won anything and he got all that power. That's what was my issue with Ron Rivera having so much power in the Commanders, Redskins organization when hired. NPR 76 said Trent.
But hold on real quick.
Darn right he is. I've been said this. I would have paid Trent anything he wanted when Rivera got here. I don't know why he let Trent go.
Do you blame Ron Rivera or do you blame the ownership at the time to not know that Ron Rivera wasn't a guy? Not Trent, that Ron Rivera couldn't be a GM for a team.
No, I blame Snyder. That's Snyder's fault. But Snyder just did it because it was a PR move. That's why he did it. It was a PR move. That's why it gave him all full autonomy. And that's the only reason why. And that's the only reason I think, if I remember, that's the only way he would get Ron Rivera to come here to DC. So maybe a little bit of both, to be honest with you. maybe a little bit of both.
Right. I mean, the dude got he had his hustle on.
Yeah,
right
I think it's the only. I think it's the only way he would come to DC. I think that's the only way he would come to DC too. Can y'all tell me how JB came in the same system with less reps and make Terry and Curtis look like Pro Bowlers? QB first round draft. Again, it goes back to this, huh? It goes back to this. I feel like. What'd you say? What'd you say, Glenn?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll wait for you to finish. Go ahead.
To me, it goes back to what I said earlier. Sam is just better at spreading the football. That is not his style of just focusing on one person. Like, he's a better quarterback spreading the football. Terry, if you look at his resume, what he's done so far this season, his good games came with him spreading the football. That is what he does best. The games we like to talk about Sam, it's like not where he's just targeting Terry McLaurin. That is not his brand of football for him to play well. If you get him targeting somebody, then he's going to throw interceptions. He's going to get sacked. He's going to hold the football. He is better when he gets to survey the field and spread the football. I think you do him a big disservice when you say, hey, find Terry McLaurin any which way you can. You can scheme things up, but it's better for him to spread the football. Like, this is what it is. I agree with this. Like Tony Little said, Howell is still basically a rookie. He is learning on the job. I agree. Like, you're telling a rookie, hey, look for this one dude. Nah, if he's better suited spreading the football, he's better suited spreading the football. We've seen this. That's why I don't get it. Like, we've seen his body at work. He is better at spreading the football. Go ahead, Glenn. You wanted to say something.
But also, you got to look at the defense that the Los Angeles Rams were playing towards the end of the game as well, right?
It's a little bit more easy
right?
too.
A little bit more easier for Jacoby.
You're 28-7. Yeah, you're gonna be.
You're up 28-7. They can play a little bit low and loose, right? You can play a little bit off. They understand this team has to score 21 points in order for them to win the football game. So they're playing as aggressive. The scheme is not as what it was, and so you have coaches that do that in the late game, fourth quarter. Remember, this was like 8 minutes left in the game, right?
Yeah.
When they started really scoring, when they made the move. So that's why Jacoby looks so great. Now I like to see Jacoby do it from the beginning. You see what I'm saying?
True.
Let's see a full body of work.
True.
And we have that. And I'm not saying Jacoby's garbage. I like Jacoby, right? But let's see a full body of work, and let's have that. That's why I don't think it's a quarterback controversy. And I kind of lean towards Ron saying, you know what, I am trying to protect him. And if Ron had pulled Sam in the third quarter, beginning of the third quarter, I say, you know what, it's a quarterback controversy. It was 8 minutes left in the game. I don't want my guy to get beat up. I get it.
Okay. Gear Sales said, I know Dan is gone, but Ron was hired and given full authority because no one wanted to come here. Yeah, see. So we stuck with a sorry coach and a horrible front office. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Tay said, let keep it PG, y'all. PG-13 at the Trent and Sheriff. Yeah, Ruben. Yeah, both Trent and Sheriff. You know what I'm saying? Sam Cosmi's has been okay. I mean, Sam Cosmi's been okay, but yeah, I'm with you.
He's been okay.
He's been good. No, actually, I'll take that back. He's been good. Like, Sam's been good. He's not Brandon Sheriff, but he's been good. Trent was never staying. He didn't care about Ron being hired. He wanted out. See, George, if Trent got the bag, he would have stayed. This has been said. If he got the bag, he would have stayed. Ron just wasn't trying to give him the bag. This is true.
And if Trent would have stayed, I think Morgan would have stayed too.
Yeah, it's the bag. Money is the root of everything. All right.
money. But hold up. I'm gonna you know, money answers all things too, and that's in the book too.
And so a lot. Co-centric. Armand said co-centric, full accountability. Ron wants the power, but no accountability. Sounds like a office model. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ron doesn't want any of the responsibility. Totally agree, bro. Let's see. What else my man say? Oh, you already said that already. Tay said, all right, here you go. Tay said, when Sam tries to force feed the ball to Terry, it's never a good outcome. That's what I'm saying. It's never good. He is good when he spreads it around. He is. I know people are. I love Terry, but I know how Sam works best. You know what I'm saying? So our Tony Little, our defense played better this week. I mean, they forced a couple fumbles, but real talk, I mean, the Rams still did what they wanted to do, though. They did whatever they wanted to do.
There was never in jeopardy in this game.
They were never in jeopardy, for real.
Never.
I guess we have we have real low expectations of our defense. So I guess they were better. Ruben says, plus they just lost 2 linemen. True.
You know,
he said Trent left because of the medical issues he had. Yeah, of course. He did. But he did meet with Ron again. And the word was he wanted more money if he's going to stay here. And I don't think they were willing to give him the money that he was asking for.
They should have, because he's the best.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I would have gave Trent the bag. I would overpay Trent. That's just me though. Who's y'all choice for the next head coach? Whoo, man.
I like to see a brother. I like to see a brother. Anybody who's a brother. And I'm not trying to be funny. There's some good brother candidates out there. You know, they can do it. I mean, if Pittsburgh bumped their head and Mike Tomlin available, I'm Mike Tomlin. But I mean, if they that stupid, right? No, I don't want Belichick. Do you want a young guy? I don't really want a young coach. I want Raheem Morris, if his name is out there. I'll do. What's my man? I have no problem with that.
Yeah, so I want a proven commodity. I'm all about proven. So you said if Mike Tomlin's out there, I'm jumping.
Mike Tomlin out there, I'm jumping, dog.
But everybody know I'm biased. You know, I'm a Michigan dude, man. If Jim Harbaugh ever jumps out there, come on, bro. You can't tell me nothing. That man didn't already change he didn't change the college franchise. He didn't change the NFL franchise already in San Francisco. Oh, I like him though. I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like he got raw. All right, so let me tell you this one, Tony.
Brian Flores. Yes,
I like Brian Flores, but this is the thing: if you can't handle Eric Bieniemy, you can't. They won't be able to handle Brian Flores.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with you though. I agree with you because they complain about EB. Brian Flores is the same type of coach.
Yeah.
That same type of coach. But yeah, I would probably I like Jim. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Jim Harbaugh. Everybody wants Ben Johnson. I mean, Ben Johnson's done a good job in Detroit. I'm not going to take it away from him. But to me, when we talk about because a lot of people like to mention young coaches, and it's fine. But the successful young coaches have come from one particular tree. For real. Like the ones that we keep talking about have pretty much come from one particular tree. The majority have come from one. The ones that we mentioned and we keep mentioning, they come from the same Shanahan tree. We mentioned Mike McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned Sean McVay. Obviously, Kyle. The tree is the Mike Shanahan tree, right?
Right.
Kyle, whatever. They're all under that tree. So when we mention these young coaches, and Ben Johnson isn't on that tree, but he's been successful in Detroit, right? Because Detroit's offense. But again, every situation is different. That's the thing I like to tell people. Like every situation is different. Could Ben Johnson do well with this type of offensive line that Sam Howell has? Detroit has one of the best offensive lines of football. You know what I'm saying? Could he create a good scheme, a good game plan with a piss poor offensive line? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So before we all talk about we want this coach, look at their situation. Look at how their situation mirrors Washington's situation. You know what I'm saying? If it mirrors it correctly. And I've said this, and I'm gonna say this even for Sean McVay, that we like to give all the praise. Don't forget what the Rams did for Sean McVay when he got there. Before Sean McVay got there, their team wasn't ultra talented. When he got there, they started signing and getting good players. They got Indomitian and Sue. They got they got Jalen Ramsey on their squad.
OBJ,
Von Miller. They were paying to have to have Hall of Fame caliber players on that squad. So it wasn't like Sean McVay got there and it was like he had no talent. He signed the job. He got the job with mad talent, but as soon as he got there, the GM and that whole front office gave him all the talent in the world. So don't forget that too. I think we tend to say, and then he got that year he got old boy, he played for Clemson, Sammy Watkins. He was getting talented dudes that year. So yeah, you want to get a young coach, bring them in, but you also got to give them talent. Don't think that you look at Washington's situation and be like, oh, we need to have this coach. Look at how their situation right now mirrors Washington. And if Washington's willing to give that young coach, so we get Ben Johnson, best believe
O-line is better.
You got to give him everything. You cannot bring him here in a situation with the same the same set because you won't get the Ben Johnson in Detroit. You won't. I can guarantee you that.
The question is, will Harrison give him everything? Will Harris give the next head coach everything he needs?
So. I think he's ready to spend money. I will give him that. I think he's ready to spend money. Ruben said I like Harbaugh. Definitely would be number one. If not him, there's someone offensive. So not always changing schemes. Yeah, I agree. Keith said we talking about head coach, but who y'all like for our new OC, because it's gonna be a new system that might take 2 to 3 years to master. Ugh, that sounds depressing.
I don't know if I got
if it's an offensive minded coach, that may be a little bit easier. I don't know, because that coach is gonna want to pick somebody in his own staff. That's a good question. I mean, again, I don't think Washington. All right, so this is going to be me on my high horse. I don't think that Washington has done enough for EB in terms of their offensive line to make his offense be effective. So I don't know. Yeah. So I would say if Jim Harbaugh was the head coach, I could see a situation where he would keep an EB. But again, but I don't know if EB would want to stay here either at the same time. But it would be a situation where when Glenn's talking about, the new regime would sign players to help that offensive line. Like they would build the team up. Like next year, you're going to get a better roster for whoever coach. Like what I mean by that is like, if you have a young quarterback, if you do draft another quarterback, he won't be set up like Sam Howell was set up. And I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. I think Sam was set up because of the offensive line, and EB had to change. EB had to change a lot of things with his scheme because the offensive line been terrible. We talked about John Bass and the guys earlier. EB at one time, you were looking at his offense. They went to a 2 tight end set just so they can protect Sam Howell.
Yeah, right? Tony. Yeah, and Tony Little said, "That's why I don't beat up on Sam a lot. The offensive line gets zero push for a consistent running game. That's what I said earlier. Sam will be better with a consistent running game, and he would cut down on the interceptions." Go ahead, Glenn. I'm sorry.
Well, I agree with Tony on that. I mean, you can see where the line got zero push today, man. They couldn't even give.
Didn't I say this on the pregame though? Didn't I say it on the pregame?
Yeah, they couldn't score from the 1 yard line.
1 yard line. This is what I kept. As I'm saying, like we all want them to run the football, but you can't run it's hard to run a football when your O line is trash. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
1 yard, right?
1 yard, bro. Did a quarterback sneak to and everything? You still couldn't get it. Come on, man. Come on. So, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Giselle said we need a coach from the Shanahan tree. Game plan is about running the ball, setting up the quarterback for success. I wouldn't be mind with somebody from the Shanahan tree. Wouldn't mind that. It's a proven commodity. I'm all for a proven commodity. EB calls plays like he wears Wrangler jeans, skinny jeans. Hey, I'm at flannel draws. Hey, real talk. I'm gonna say it again. They didn't put EB in a situation to succeed. Andy Reid calls plays similarly, and we all like him. Andy Reid won the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. Have y'all watched Kansas City of late? Just saying. Andy Reid throws the ball a lot. And I'm gonna be real. I think EB is running the ball more than he really wants to. I don't know why he's running the ball that much. This is not what
I'm gonna tell you why he's running the ball, because he got terrible defense, dog. Try to keep when you have a terrible defense, right? And your defense is giving up averaging up 30-some points a game.
I'm about to give you a rebuttal to that, because Andy Reid had terrible defense in Kansas City, and he would air that thing out.
But they knew they could try to outscore people, right? When Kansas City was terrible. This team cannot outscore.
You can't. They were scoring 30 at a time, and they started running the ball, and they couldn't score. They're not scoring as much anymore. They scored more when they were throwing the football. Now they run the ball. They getting what? I'm just saying, like, you're seeing a difference. When you were complaining with the back, you see a difference when they were throwing the ball a lot to now when they're running the ball more.
And I'm a run the ball type of guy, but
I'm just saying
they haven't been able to.
Yeah, they've been running the ball more. And if you look at, I wish I don't have the stats in front of me, but if you look at the difference between what they were doing, throwing the ball a lot, and people were complaining about balance, to what they're doing now, the score has gone lower. The scoring has gone lower. That's all I'm saying. These Briggs said, bring. It took us 3 minutes to score from the 1 yard line. Then got the extra point block. Why are we not going for 2. I thought we look. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would went for 2, and I don't be caring about 2, but I feel like it doesn't matter.
You don't go for,
like you're not going nowhere, huh?
You don't go for 2 at
Don't
this
go
spot
for 2
because you only
I get you.
I get you. You only down 14.
No. I said it doesn't matter. Just go for 2. Who cares? Like my thing was like, who cares? Like when they said go for 2, I was like, no, I'm not arguing it. Like I'm not. You're right, Glenn. But in my mind, I was like, you're not going to playoffs. Go for 2. Who cares? If you don't get it, go for 2 again. Like you're not doing anything. This is not a winner. This is not last year's team where Ron didn't know the playoff situation. That was like that. You know what I mean? Like this is a little different. I'm like, come on. Does it matter? Go for 2. You get it. You're up 2. I mean, you're not up 2. You got all you need is a touchdown to win the game. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my whole thing is why did you go for the onside kick? That was my thing. I was like, bro, just kick. You had 3 timeouts.
He was asked that question in the press conference, and what he said was he thought the team would have a better chance to get the ball at that moment, which is stupid because you kick it deep.
Hard to get now.
Right, you kick it deep and you let your defense play. So, in other words, he was saying that.
Look, man,
hey, I don't trust my defense.
Look, man, y'all keep telling. This is why I've been saying. What culture has Ron Rivera changed? He's changed no culture. Actually, on the field culture, he's been slower. It's been bad, bro. Tony also said if you look at the roster on both sides of the ball, Washington doesn't have enough talented players. The offense doesn't have one consistent tight end, and the team needs to get better linebackers. Yeah, we know they should get better linebackers because Ron Rivera decides not to get them every offseason. Like he has the opportunity, and he decides not to get them.
You let Bobby Wagner slip through your hands.
Like Bobby Wagner was a free agent. Yeah. Like why not? Like I'm gonna keep. Hey Tony, I know Tony. I think you may be a new listener, and a new viewer. If you are, thanks for being on. And we've been saying this that Bobby Wagner has been out there, and it's been cool to team Bobby Wagner with Jamin Davis, so Jamin Davis can learn from Bobby Wagner, and Jamin Davis play would improve. So you have a guy who's been all world and linebacker, and you got a young boy who can learn from that all world linebacker. But you decided to go with Cody Barton.
And look at Holcomb up in Pittsburgh. Look what Holcomb's doing.
Holcomb, yeah, before he got hurt, Holcomb was playing better. Holcomb was better than Cody Barton, and you let him go off. You replaced you replaced Cole Holcomb with Cody Barton. That's the thing that blows me. It's like, all right, if you want to let Cole Holcomb go, it's fine. We talk about we need a better linebacker. Then get a better linebacker, but don't get somebody who's worse than the linebacker you had before. Like that makes no sense.
No sense.
Keith said, change the defense to a 5-2.
Nah,
I mean they play a lot of it. They play a lot with their front 5 being 2.
But
they used to. They don't play it. They can't now.
That hurts you in the pass coverage.
5-2, yeah, but they can't. They can't now. They can't now though. They can't now because they got their line. They don't have Chase and Montez, so they can't really play it anymore.
They can't play it
because the 2 dudes aren't good enough to even really play it.
You didn't really hear their names today.
Who?
2 Hill. The other
2 Hills. I've been trying to hear 2 Hills' name. Okay, cool. Appreciate you, my man.
Yo, appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button, Tony, man. Appreciate you.
They should play. I know they should be playing Jabril. They should be playing Jabril Cox. I agree. They should.
They should. They spend the money. I don't understand this. If you spend the money on somebody, and at this point in the season, you should be playing everybody because everything's an audition, right?
Yeah.
Jabril Cox should be playing. Don't tell me he doesn't know the defense. He's been there since the 3rd preseason game, 2nd preseason game.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dog. He knows the defense right now. It's linebacker. Find the ball. Cover your reads, right? Yeah. I mean, it is it. Green grass, go. Read the guards. Your first read is run.
Look, man, you've been playing Mayo for a while. I'm sorry. I don't care. Anybody, I don't care if you're green. You should be playing that position.
Khalid Hudson and Jabril Cox should be your 2 linebackers.
Yeah. Cody Barton is a special teamer playing linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is.
Yep.
That's what it is. There's no excuse. Again, a lot of people complain about Cole Holcomb. I like Cole Holcomb. A lot of people complain about Cole Holcomb.
I like Holcomb too.
Yeah, but if you're gonna replace Cole Holcomb, get somebody 10 times better than Cole Holcomb. Like this dude is actually worse. He's worse than Cole Holcomb. So how's that? Like that makes no sense. Spirit said, don't mean to get off topic, but this Ravens game should be a good one.
It should be.
It should be though. Real talk. It should be. That Jacksonville Ravens game should be a good one. Said Mayo is always trailing the play. That's a problem. Yeah, because Mayo's slow. Barton don't play with enough force. That's like, I don't know what he don't play with no force.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He plays with no force. Yeah, man, this is good though. I appreciate y'all's comments, but I guess we can go to the next. We've been talking comments most of the time, trying to get to the actual.
The comments were better in the game.
They were though. Tom was way better in the game. I'm keeping it $1. They're way better in the game.
I mean, the game. I nodded off a little bit. I can say a lot to you.
So I'm ask y'all. I mean, I know my. So I'm gonna ask y'all. Do y'all think so? For the listeners, I mean, for the listeners, do you think Sam Howell as the Commanders' future quarterback is over? Do you think, regardless of when we're talking about 2024, do you think it's over? I'm interested to hear from y'all. Do y'all think Sam Howell as the future quarterback in terms of even 2024, is it over for him to be the starting quarterback? Is it a guarantee that Washington is taking a quarterback in the first round next year's draft? I want to hear from y'all. Glenn, you can go first, bro.
Nah, there's no quarterback controversy, man.
No, I know 2024. I said 2024.
Sam Howell is the quarterback for the Washington Commanders in 2024, starting quarterback.
Okay, all right. Tony said, "I am disappointed with this season, but not discouraged. No, I think Sam is the guy. That's what's up, man. I'm rooting for Sam too, bro. But I don't think he's the guy anymore. I think they going. You said no, but Keith said no, but a backup QB. See, think he could be the backup QB. That's what I'm saying. I think this is what people think. I think this is actually think that I ain't gonna lie. I think Sam is gonna go into the situation. It's kind of all right. It's gonna kind of remind me of the Drew Brees situation. You know what I'm saying? Like Drew Brees, starting quarterback. Then the following year they get Phillip Rivers. Then Drew Brees has a good year. He gets hurt, but that rookie, everybody can't wait to see that rookie. Even before the injury, a lot of folks are still trying to clamor for Phillip Rivers to play. So Sam may get the start of the next year, but in the end game, he ain't going to be the guy.
How about this? Do we trust the process? At what point do you trust the process? This guy hasn't even really played 17 Commander football games yet, right? He started one last year, and here. Do you trust the process with Sam Howell? Or why are people so quick? It's not like this team was winning anyway, right? It didn't cost you a game. Let's be honest. Sam Howell didn't cost us games this year. Truth be told, if we're really honest, Sam Howell won for this team football games this year that they shouldn't have won.
Yeah, it's true.
This team actually eventually, you think about it, we talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago. This team actually could be 0 for whatever, right? This team could have lost every football game they played so far. They have not won a dominant game where it had not come down to the last few minutes of the game and not played a complete game.
Yeah, you're right.
This team could have lost every game. Then Sam Howell's put this team on his back and has won games for this team. And how dare some of the Commanders fans talking about bench Sam Howell? You roll with Heineke longer than this.
No lies told there, buddy. No lies told. So Sprig, I ain't gonna lie, that's a good one, Glenn. I think he needs more time to grow, but do we have the patience to groom Sam? Put a better line around him. I think that would be good to see if they put a better line around Sam Howell. Tony Little said Sam in 13 career games, he has never. He was near the top of the league in passing and touchdowns. That is hard to do. I agree. I do. I think he deserves a little bit more respect. But a lot of people discredit that, though. I won't lie to you, homie. They discredit that. I agree with all that, bro. I definitely agree with all that. But yeah, to talk about it, like I personally don't want it to be over for Sam Howell, but I see the writing on the wall. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I just see the writing on the wall. I know how this plays out. You know what I'm saying? I know how this plays out. If Washington puts themselves in the position where a May or Caleb Williams can fall to them, Sam Howell probably won't be the quarterback. I'm cute a buck. But like I said earlier, though, I do think that May and Caleb Williams are drafted 1 and 2. I don't see Daniels being rated over the tackle or Marvin Harrison. He's not rated over those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like May is rated high. May has been rated high since going to North Carolina, and all he's done is produce. So that typically means he's going to be one of them dudes. Caleb Williams was rated the top quarterback coming out of high school, I believe, when he came out, and all he's done is produce. So those two dudes are going to be where they're at. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be 1-2. They're a proven track record. They're proven. So that means the third spot is either Marvin, who's done it since a freshman at Ohio State. And if you look at Ohio State, they've always produced top end wide receivers, right? Like you can go through the list. Like their track record of wide receivers is pretty impressive. And then you have the kid from Penn State, the left tackle. I think that's what it is. So I think Washington is in a good situation to get a tackle, but we'll see. Oh, what Tony said. Don't do that, Tony. He said we could end up with Zach Wilson type of player. I'm just saying, Sam is still learning and producing at an above average level. That's the one thing about the draft. It is a crapshoot. I believe I'm with you, Tony. I'm with you. It's a crapshoot. It is. Alonzo Skids Nation, bro. They Joshi already said weeks ago that they like Sam. It's deeper than just the QB gents. Look around him. Look, bro. I said this. I ain't against Sam. I love Sam. I wanted to be the starting quarterback, but you know how people are, bro. You know how it is. You know what? Like for me, the benching, and it's gonna be a new regime. They like him, but the new regime, we don't know what that GM or that coach, depending on who they hire, because you're not gonna force if you're gonna do ownership the right way, right? You're not gonna force your new hire or your new GM to say, "Hey, this is gonna be our quarterback," because you do that, you're handcuffing the coach and the owner. That's all. The coach and the GM. So yes, they may like him, but your new coach and new ownership, meaning so your new coach and new GM may not. And also, what I would say is that, like in all sports, when you put the stench of being benched like that, and even in basketball, right? If you move a dude to the sixth man, now he's always located, and he may be a real starter for like Jamal Crawford. Like he used to get buckets in Chicago, but then they move him to the sixth man. Then he's always had that stench of being a sixth man. When you start to bench somebody, then you get that stench of being benched. That's all I'm saying, bro.
But what I'm saying is, he benched him. It's not like he benched him in the first quarter.
Oh, Josh Harris.
He benched him in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? He benched him with no time left on the clock. I mean, it was like 8 minutes left in the game. If the only thing we talk about is Jacoby Brissett coming out there and scoring,
bro.
Yeah, we talking about Jacoby Brissett coming out there and scoring a touchdown.
I appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you.
If Jacoby Brissett comes out there and doesn't score a touchdown and he looks just as worse as Sam Howell, what are we saying, right? Again, on a team who's playing a soft defense at this moment, right? Let's not forget the moment. Everybody's talking. Let's not forget the moment of the game. 8 minutes left. Terry gets a contested catch. Defense makes a stop. They go down the field. I mean, at this point, they're playing soft. I mean, the Rams are playing soft at this point.
I would agree. I know what you're saying, but I agree. I know what you're saying, but all right, I would add to that if I had to have a rebuttal. Has Sam played good the last 3 games? The last 2 to 3 games, he hasn't played really good.
No, he hasn't played good.
So with this benching doesn't look good. That's what I'm saying. The optics does not look good. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that after that, like after the last few games and this game, it doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't.
That's my point. Like if this game was on its own, was isolated on its own, and he was playing good prior, or one of the 2 games he was playing good, one of the 3 games he was playing good, then I would say, yeah. You know what I mean? Other than the Seattle game, I think the Seattle game was his last really good game.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, but again,
that's all I'm saying.
I think your valid point is that the new regime coming in, or whoever the new regime is, you're gonna have to make a decision on who the quarterback is gonna be.
Yeah,
and we got to understand that the new regime is going to be in place before the NFL draft.
Yes, they're going to. Everything's going to be in place before the NFL draft.
Right.
Do I want Sam Howell to be the quarterback? Yes. If anybody follow me on X or whatever, I've been saying Sam Howell him, but like the last few games, I just gotta keep it a buck. Like I gotta be a realist, to a point where folks who's watched him play. I mean, folks who all watched him play and see what he's done of late, and we've watched football for X amount of years. Like we've seen how this thing kind of plays out. If you you struggle, if you struggle, people tend to move on. I like this one though. This goes against my point. I kind of like this one. Tony, this is a really good point. It all depends on the player. Look how Jalen. Look how Jalen Hurts. The coaches were changed, and Hurts was still the star. Look at the quarterback landscape and this game. You also have to look at the play calling. You know what? That's a good point because they wanted to run Jalen Hurts out.
Yeah.
They did want to run Jalen Hurts out, and that changed up. You know what? Good point. It depends. Tony, very excellent point, my man. Excellent point. Alonzo said, cannot wait until they select the new GM. Josh better hit. It will be on him. Yep. It's like I think Glenn said it earlier. It's all about the GM. The GM before the head coach. Which Alonzo? Just the GM before head coach, hands down.
GM's
more all about the GM. It is all about the GM.
And I like to see old school GM, man. I don't care if you bring. And I know some of the guys on TV are not coming out of the booth, right? Like your Bill Cowers, your Jimmy Johnsons, those guys who know talent. I mean, Charlie Cassie's not coming back. You know what I'm saying?
You want old school? Good. No, I don't want that.
No, the reason I want old school because you got to change the culture, right? And I think old school has a culture, and we talked about this when we talked about Marty Schottenheimer. When you mentioned Brian Flores earlier, you meet Eric Bieniemy. When this team was winning, there was an old school feel, and the teams who win, there's an old school feel in the building, right? There's a structure that's there. There's some solidness that's there, and everybody understand the expectations when they walk in the building.
You know,
I don't think people understand the expectation when they walk into the Washington Commanders building.
Question to the listeners. I'm gonna put to you too, Glenn. You going old school. Listeners and viewers, who would you want this team GM to be? Like, do you have anybody in mind? Like for this team, I have one in mind, and I've heard people kind of hate, but I've heard one in mind. But I'm interested to know who would you want their new GM to be? So, Glenn, for you talk about old school. Just throw a name out there, bro. Like, who would you want their GM to be?
Irsay.
Oh, what?
Wouldn't Irsay was the GM? It wasn't
not Jim Irsay. That's the owner for the
that's the owner. That's the owner. Charlie Cassidy. I'll go back to Charlie.
Oh, Polian? You want Polian?
Yeah, Polian.
Polian.
Yeah, Polian.
Yeah, I'm about to say, okay, Irsay. My man, he said, I like this one. I like the assistant GM. Oh, GM in San Francisco. I like that. Can't think of his name. He is highly respected. Yeah, I think I know you're talking about. That's what everybody wants now. They want John Litch's assistant. Hold on. Let me pull up that dude's name. Cisco. I'm actually gonna find his name. Niners assistant. Adam Peters. Is it Adam Peters you're referring to?
Yeah, Adam Peters is San Francisco's assistant general manager.
Yeah, Adam Peters. Yeah.
Another name people hired on Glenn Cook, the Cleveland Browns assistant general manager. Yeah,
I've heard. So for me, it's wild. You talk about that's what it is. Here you go. Also, they said it's at least 45 candidates said Josh put on a good impression at the meeting not too long ago. That's good. For me, I mean, I like him a lot. I think he knows ball. He chops it up pretty well. He's on TV though. I like Louis Riddick, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I love what he speaks, man. I just love he talks the real to me. And I feel like he has a winning mentality. He's into that. He's an aggressive individual. He's played the sport. He's played football too. He's played in the NFL. I would like Louis Riddick. Like I think he gets it.
I tell you, who's doing a good job. My man Champ Kelly and lost it in the Raiders.
Who?
Kelly for the Raiders, the interim GM for
Las
Vegas Raiders. He's a brother, and he's doing pretty well. Right, he's doing pretty well right now. I mean, Raiders just put him. I mean, that team is the whole culture has just changed with Antonio Pierce as the head coach and Kelly as the GM. Yeah. You can see that team shift from when they had Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I feel like players like situations like that. I feel that's pretty good. But to me, I trust to use it because he coaches the Sixers. I mean, he was the owner of the Sixers. He's the owner of the Sixers. I trust the process, man. I'm just gonna trust the process. I'm just gonna trust the process because at the end of the day, I believe they'll take their time and they'll come with a good. He was here already. He was here in a different regime. Yeah, he was here under a different regime. Not as a GM, but he was there under like a scout. I want to say a scout. I'm gonna say Lewis was a scout. Tony Little said Washington needs a major influx of talent. We let too many decent veteran players go over the years. If you look at the roster, the team is one of the youngest teams in the league. Yeah, that's what Rivera wanted to be young. And this is the thing. I feel like this team. All right, so this is my thing. Like they've obviously letting Chase and Montez go, but I do think they've gotten to a point where like they've gotten guys playing out the wrong position. I'll give you an example. Like to me, it's too much you're putting, even though Percy Butler had a good play because he forced a fumble today. You're putting too much on Percy Butler's plate to be safe to play free safety. That's just not. Yeah. He shouldn't be a starting free safety. Like he shouldn't be. Like that's not his position. He should not be playing. He shouldn't be a starting free safety. And that's something that Ron shouldn't do. You trade, and I said this. You drafted. If you look at Quan Martin, what position did Quan Martin play in college at Illinois? Play safety. Why not play a player who's played that position in a big school and you drafted in the second round? So obviously played it correct. He played it at a high level. Why not play him at safety? You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that you're doing, like you're doing a big disservice, and you're playing a nickel, so that lets you know that Quan Martin can cover. So let you know already that he can cover. That lets you know he can cover, and then play him back there in free safety. Tony Little said, actually Tony Little put out there, it said the majority of the roster was drafted after 2020. Yep, it's true. Because Ron wanted to get younger. Sometimes it's cool to get younger, but sometimes you want younger with talent. Younger, just because you're younger doesn't mean you're good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not to be funny, but and a lot of the players, it's funny because a lot of the players that were good that you kind of like are riding with aren't players that Ron drafted. A lot of them aren't.
I mean, look at Chessman. I mean, was Cheeseman?
Oh, look, he showed his ugly head again. He went to Michigan. That hurts my feelings. But yes, he's hurt. He has hurt Washington, and he went up to draft Cheeseman.
Yes,
like to take a long snapper. This is what I'm talking about. This is the irresponsibility of Ron Rivera. The irresponsibility of Ron Rivera.
Nobody's going to draft that long snapper.
Nobody. This is why Ron Rivera has issues that I have no idea why.
You traded
if I was him, if I was so bad at this position, and not even being not coach, but as a front office dude, I would beg to get somebody else to take over for me. That's how bad he is. And it'd be somebody I don't know.
Because look at the snap.
Somebody I don't know.
The snaps today was terrible. I mean, Tressway had a fall. Tressway had a fall on one, which led to points.
Yeah.
The field goal. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, winning teams has a mix of young players, and yeah, totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
NPR, MPR 76, Ron overdraft, bro.
Yo, somebody on Twitter posted this, and I want to talk about it real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
When Ron Rivera was drafted, when Ron Rivera was hired January 2020, we talked about it a little bit earlier. He had left tackle was Trent Williams, Wes Switzer was your left guard. Switzer. Chase Roulier.
Trent didn't play though. Trent didn't play though with Ron though. But
right, he didn't play, but I mean he didn't play with him. But when he was hired,
he was on the roster. He was on the roster.
Sheriff was your right guard. Morgan Wilson was your right tackle.
You had a good line. And
Roulier was your center.
You had a good line.
And none of those guys
on your team.
On your team.
You had a good line, man. And Chase, to his credit, Chase Roulier was injuries. That's why. The issue I have. The only issue I have with like Ron is that he had one in Brandon in Flowers, and he didn't bring him back. Like Flowers was good at guard, and he didn't bring him back.
Yeah, all the positions got worse though. That's the thing.
No, it did. It got worse.
They got worse.
Yeah, we got one more. Said Gearsell also put, what do you think of the Ravens DC as a possible head coach for Washington? I think I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I like him. I like him because I like anything from Baltimore. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think they bring a mentality, so I'm gonna hold you. I like that. I just think that the look is to have. All right, if that's the case, all right, I'm cool with it. But you gotta give me an offensive coordinator with it. Like you gotta give me an offensive coordinator. Give me an idea of what offensive coordinator they're bringing in. If you give me a good one, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that hire.
You keep EB.
I would keep EB, but if you don't, he may not want to. So if it's keeping EB, I'm cool with that too. But EB probably won't want to be here though, Glenn.
I don't think EB wants to stay here. Yeah, I think EB applies for the Chargers job.
Yeah.
If I'm EB, I would take the Chargers job with Herbert.
Yeah.
I think
or the Bears job.
Or the Bears job.
My man here. Agreed. It is very disturbing. I feel like it's disrespectful. It is very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I would also get a head coach from Nick Saban's
tree. Him and Tree, yeah.
Defense or offense? I'm all for defense. I'm not sure about offense.
Offensive coordinators from Nick Saban is not bad.
I just don't really.
They're more college.
Yeah, I prefer. I think his defensive mind is amazing. So on our Twitter poll, our X poll, X poll, had the question: is it over for Sam Howell as a possible starter for 2020? For 53% said yes.
Oh wow.
47% said no. Still going. So I told you, man. I know the temperature of these people.
Hey, you know.
All right, Dabo was good. I ain't going. Dabo is a good one. I won't lie. He did come from Alabama. He's
not leaving Clemson.
Oh, Brian Dabo. He's talking about Dabo.
Dabo. Okay. Oh yeah.
Not Dabo. Sorry, Dabo. Sorry, bro. Dabo. I said Dabo. Dabo from the Giants. He's naming like examples. He's naming me examples out of Alabama. That was a good one. Dabo was out from Alabama. That's true. He's good. He's good. He's surprised. He's surprisingly good to me, but he is good.
A name that we haven't mentioned in this whole show, and we didn't mention that much in the game. Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, he's not gonna be mentioned. That's why I want Marvin Harrison Jr.
Disappeared, dog.
That's why I want Marvin Harrison. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I'm all right. Let me throw this out there. I know y'all. I mean, everybody loves Terry. I love Terry too.
Is it Jahan?
Terry, go ahead. I want you to go first.
Is it Jahan or is it the system? I mean, I don't know. He's not getting targeted. Has Sam lost trust in Jahan, right? Because Jahan,
even West ain't go to him either. Jacoby ain't go to him.
Jahan only had one target a day for 12 yards.
Did Jacoby go to him?
No.
And Jacoby's supposed to free up the offense today, right?
Yeah. So why is Jahan not getting targets? That's the question.
I mean, Curtis Samuel's getting touches, isn't he?
The question is why they're not throwing to Jahan.
Why Jahan not getting open?
Is he not open? Is he not open?
Maybe.
Or is he not open?
Word is Jahan ain't get open like that. That's the word.
I'm gonna have to go back and
I
watch
will
film.
say this. I feel like
I'm gonna have to watch film.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna tell you I don't watch film. I'm not that person. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Y'all looking for that person on social media to tell you that this, that, and the other. I ain't that one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not that person. I don't feel like watching tape. I don't feel like watching clips like that. But I will tell you this though, that I do think that from my eyesight, my vantage point, I'm all for like if I feel like Terry would be better suited being the number 2, and then Jahan being number 3. I feel like it maps up correctly. Like you would have, like for instance, like an example, and because all of them are different sizes, right? We always talk about Washington has the same size of wide receivers, right? You give me Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Then Terry McLaurin, then Jahan's the slot. Yo, that's damage. That's damage. Like Jahan now is better suited and slated to go against your third best cornerback. Jahan's gonna be a better player. It's almost like look at like I'll give you another example. So look at Cincinnati. Like they get, not to say I think those players are good. I think Higgins is the number 1. So I'm not even knocking Higgins. Chase, you got Jamar Chase, you got Higgins, and then you got my man in the slot. What's his face? You got Boyd. Boyd's a better slot dude, and he kills that third corner, that nickel corner. So I'm just saying, like it can go that route. I'm just saying you better off. I think Dotson may be better off being a third wide receiver on this team. That's all I'm saying. He may be. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Tony said it's the O-line mostly. I think it's a mix of play calling and the O-line. Dotson is a young second-year player.
Yeah. Yo, people coming after Cam Curl on social media. He's responding.
Yeah, he's starting to get it too on that play.
But he's responding though. Cam Curl said, "Type dude."
He responded. His father's responding because his father responds often. You sure it's him or his father?
It looks like it might be Cam. It might be his father. It might be Cam,
his father.
K Curl _2.
No, that's him.
That's him. Yeah, he's responding.
That's him. No, that's him.
He responded to some dude named Josh Taylor who called him
out. Oh,
out.
he told Josh Taylor. Oh, I know who he is. That's the dude. Oh, he responded to him?
Yeah, he
Good,
responded to him.
they're going at him. Oh,
They're going at him. Yeah, and Cam Curl called him cornball.
I respect that.
I respect these folks. Tight dude to be nice. AF in my face, laughing LMO. You don't even know what coverage we was in. Cornball.
Dang.
Hey, Cam Curl he here for it, dog.
My man want the smoke. Here you go.
Cam Curl want the smoke,
that's why I don't
y'all.
be going. That's why I'm never. I respect an athlete. I ain't gonna hold you because I'm a pro player to most of the time.
Yeah, I respect athletes.
Jahan sophomore slump is inexcusable. Inexplicable. Excuse me, inexplicable. He might be on the clock. Oh, George, you think it's that serious?
Nah,
I don't think it's that serious. I do think he could be shifted down though to like a third option on why. I think he may be better suited. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, Dahami's on the clock.
Oh, Diami is like fourth. Diami's already on the clock. He just under contract. He not gonna be here. I think he'll be somewhere else.
Yeah,
I think he'll be in Kansas City. I think he'll be in Kansas City or something like that.
Yeah.
Tony Little said draft LSU wide receiver. Neighbors. Have I seen him play?
Don't need any wide receivers except for Marvin Harrison Jr.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't really like Washington drafting receivers because I don't trust them. But I mean, it like I don't really trust them. But I do trust Marvin Harrison Jr. I won't lie to you. That's when I do trust him though. Are you picking up Jahan's option if next year isn't?
Yes.
Oh, if he doesn't play good next year? Oh, next year's season? You saying season?
At the end of the year, I mean, he has to play well at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, at the end of next year, he has to play well. If he doesn't play well, no, I'm not picking up his option. I'm not. I'm not.
If he doesn't play well, I'm not.
Oh, isn't much better. Sorry, I think you would say isn't much better. That's it now, George. Isn't much better. Yeah, I'm not picking that up. If he's not playing, if he plays like he did this year, I'm not picking that up. Not at all. One of the top deep threats in college. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna check his stats. I got you, Tony. I'm gonna check him out. All I care about is Marvin. I ain't gonna lie to you, Tony. All I care about is Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm there for Marvin. I'm a Michigan fan, bro. I watched this kid play. Like, this kid's amazing to me. And I hate Ohio State. Like, I hate him with a passion. But I can't deny that dude. That dude's been doing it since a freshman. Like, he is him. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, dude caught a one-handed catch against us, draped over him in clutch. In the clutch. Like, nah, we don't do this. Like,
yeah.
And he went to, and real talk, just look at the track record with O State and wide receivers, their top tier ones, Olave, Wilson, like just of recent, like these dudes, they stay putting them out there. Like, can't deny they stay putting out some good receivers out there in the NFL. Like, I can't even hold you.
Better receivers than quarterbacks.
Yeah, hell yeah, their receivers are it. Won't even hold you. They are it. Jahan runs routes like he wears corduroys under his pants. Tragic.
No, you know what? I've never seen this. I'm looking at stats and I'm just trying to be funny. And I'm not trying to be funny. I've never seen a stat on a long snapper as a fumble.
Oh, you talking about what's his face?
Yeah, Cheeseman,
like, yeah. I mean, I want like Cheeseman. Yeah. That's Ron fault, bro.
That's all on Ron. Yeah. That's all on Ron all day long. But I would say this: shout out to Khalid Hudson being the lead tackler for today.
I mean, he had a good game though. He had a good game. He was the major reason the LSU quarterback won the Heisman. Yeah, Daniels. Yeah, LSU puts up. They do though. That's a fact. LSU does put out top receivers though. I'm not gonna hold you.
I ain't gonna knock that either.
And you can get them in the second, and they're good in the second round too. You get second round too. You get good. You get star players from LSU in the second round. Like, no,
but in the second round, this team should not go. This team should offensive lineman. Man, offensive lineman, linebacker, offensive lineman. Look, receiver wise, man. Look, let's shore up. If you got a new regime coming in, you got a quarterback. If you got to keep a Sam Howell, you got to draft another quarterback. It should be offensive line, linebackers.
It should be offensive line first, though. It should be all. I ain't gonna lie. The first few picks should be offensive lineman. You can get a linebacker in free agency. I ain't gonna hold you.
Right. Offensive lineman, unless you got Marvin Harrison on the board, do you take him?
Don't ask me that again. Because I'm the one. Like, I'm gonna go against whatever I said. You know, because Marvin is like the cheat code in me. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Like, all right, I'm gonna tell you my common sense thing. I'm gonna be real with y'all. They should get an offensive lineman in the draft.
You got to take the best player on the board.
They should definitely take the left tackle. They definitely, because I feel like at the end of the day, you build your team around a left tackle. What I mean by that is you build your quarterback, but your left tackle kind of it stabilizes your whole offense. Because you have one of them, you're comfortable, you're good, like you're set. You know what I mean? You'll get your quarterback, you're set though. Like you'll feel good about yourself. But damn, you get Marvin Harrison. That's a
That's a too deep
like
threat.
I don't even know. It's just like
you got deep threats though. You got Terry and Marvin again on the same team, deep threat.
look, and then it satisfies. I mean, it satisfies your Washington because the problem with Washington receivers is everybody's the same height.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marvin can get you the jump ball, like that's not a thing. Like Marvin can get you the contested catches that because of his size.
And Jahan can play the slot.
And then I was like, yeah, it's like it really does work better. I'm gonna read what George said. He said, Cheeseman quote, I mean, I've been worried all year. I haven't been performing the way I've been wanting to. Most places I probably won't be around still. Why are you here?
Because
why are you here?
Because Ron Rivera is still here. Right? It's because Ron Rivera is still here.
Thank you, George, for that. Why are you here? George said something else. It feels like trading back from 3, 4, or 5 is definitely not happening now. We can't miss on the QB, Marvin Harrison Jr. or one of those left tackles. No, you can't trade out of that position.
You can't trade out of that position.
You got a game. I'll say this much. If you draft correctly, you have a franchise changer within those picks right there. I'm serious. Even if you draft the wrong individual, you have a franchise changer right there. See, that's not Marvin. Look, I'm not mad at that. Look, I think this is good, but this is not Marvin. I feel you, man. This is good. Like, he's really good. But Marvin is Marvin. Like,
currently
Marvin is Marvin.
4 picks. You know what?
But I like the pick. I mean, no lie. I like him. Hey, Tony, I like him. I'm saying Marvin's Marvin though, man. He cut different, bro.
This is gonna be the difference. The New York Jets game next week has a lot on the line. For draft picks. If Washington somehow lucks up and win that game, they slip down in the poll. They get slipped down in the draft order.
Like 5?
They could slip down, depends on who else loses and wins. They can slip all the way down to 6 or 7.
Hey, you talk about 6 or 7. What's his name? What is his name again? He was actually good with player personnel. I ain't gonna hold you. What's his name? It's Mick something, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in Seattle or he was in Seattle, right? Seattle or San Francisco. He was in Seattle, right? Or San Francisco too. It's gonna come to me. I know exactly who he is. Somebody in the chat, remind me who his name is. It's Mick something. I think it's Mick something. Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Scott McLuhan. Thank you.
Yeah,
Scott McLuhan. Thank you, George. Scott McLuhan. Yeah, actually, no, I ain't gonna lie to you. I like the way he thought about it. I like his thought on talent. I ain't gonna lie to you. He didn't bother me.
Oh yeah.
He didn't bother me. I won't lie to y'all. He didn't bother me.
I kind of like it. It didn't bother me neither, but it was a PR hit.
Yeah, man. It's PR stuff, man. Character. Everybody wants about character.
His was more of a PR hit, not the fact that he couldn't do the job. It was the fact that he constantly being drunk in public. You know?
Yeah. I'm just all right. So, folks, before we end the show, I mean, I don't like to be all negative. I like to be positive. So, folks listening and watching or whatever, give us what are your positives of today's outcome? Like, I need a positive. You don't want to be a player or whatever. Give me a positive. I'm gonna start with you. What was your positive, bro?
Khalid Hudson and KJ Henry were my positive for today.
KJ had a sack or something?
KJ had some good tackles. KJ was around the football. KJ was around the football again. If you look at it, his name may not be called out a lot, but KJ Henry was around the football. And I think that's for the last several weeks that he's been playing, KJ Henry has been around the football more and more. Mm-hmm. I like the young guy. I like Khalid Hudson's name being called. Each and every week, I could always give this guy the game ball because I trust him. There's only one person on this team I trust, and that's Trustway. He get a game. Trustway can get a game ball for me every week. But nonetheless, I think this team, and that's it. That's not my positive, man. I can't. Chris Rodriguez in from the football, which I thought was good. I only had 35 yards rushing, but team didn't.
He ran hard. He ran hard though.
He ran hard. Team didn't do much offensively to give anybody a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying,
Terry had over 100 yards, I guess, right?
So, well, yeah, you got to give Terry love. And I think people talk about Jacoby Brissett because he went, 8 for 10 or something like that, 124 yards. But garbage time, in my opinion. But
all right, let me put up some of these cool positives. Tony said positives Hudson and Quan Martin. I thought Quan was flying.
yeah.
Keith said a turnover only thing I can come up with. Yeah, 2 turnovers, right? He calls 2 turnovers, right? 2 fumbles.
Yeah, 2 fumbles. Yep.
All right, for me, I mean, I know we were talking about him earlier on our pregame show. For me, it's going to be Deron Payne. He had like 2 sacks. I believe Deron, he played.
Actually called his name like first time in 9 weeks.
I'm gonna give him credit. Like Deron Payne, he came to play. It's just hard to wreck a game unless you're Aaron Donald, like the fresh Aaron Donald of a couple of years. It's hard to be a D tackle and control. Well, I tell you, Lawrence did it for the Giants. He wrecked our whole game. But yeah, he was a problem. Like Deron Payne was a problem. He made some plays. It's just hard when your whole defense is trash. But he made plays. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him credit. Aaron Donald. Deron Payne was definitely a player that I think had an impressive game. Hey, folks, if you just trickling in, I see we have some folks who just joined. Real quick, what were your positives in this game for you? I mean, it's a lot of negatives. We've been talking a rack of negative stuff. But if you have a positive, throw it out there, and we'll put it out there on the show. But yeah, it would be Deron Payne for me, and you know what? Yeah, I put him out there. Jacoby Brissett was positive. I guess I'll give you your flowers, bro. And obviously we mentioned like Terry McLaurin was like his some of his big catches down the stretch, but it's not easy, regardless of how we think the defensive played. It's not easy to go in cold and be that effective, you know. And he was effective, you know what I'm saying? So we got to give him some flowers, even though we know, Glenn, 28-7 teams are going to tend to play off a little different. Just like when folks talk about, well, this is garbage time numbers and blah 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 blah. Y'all would say the same thing with somebody else. Y'all would say it's garbage time numbers. So let's just keep it for what it is. But for him, it's hard. I do think we can all both acknowledge it's hard to play like that cold, right? And he played well cold.
And my thing with him, not that necessarily garbage time, and they changed up, but he brought energy to the team.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Jacoby was the energy that the team needed at this moment.
Yeah. Tony said, I think the defense scheme needs to change. Needs to change. I think a lot of these players would be better. I don't think a lot of these guys are bums. I think that you were right to a certain extent. I think that I made that argument when they had their front four with the front four with Chase, Montez, Allen, and Payne, that they need to change some things up. I think you're seeing a big difference with Tuhill and whoever is on the other side, that they're not as good. So I do think that you see a big difference. Like you're getting no push whatsoever. Because now teams are focusing on those 2 D tackles, and now it's harder for them to get pressure. Yep. So I do agree with you. I do think that they have better talent compared to what it is. I do, and also when healthy, they're better suited too. But I think linebackers is going to always be a weakness. I don't think that's nothing you do about like that. I do think I agree. I believe in. I think Jamin, to me, has gotten better. I think Jamin is a starting linebacker. I think he's better in a different system. I mean, I mentioned I read his stats off on our podcast during the week that he had 89 tackles. He's forced 3 or 2 fumbles. I mean, those 3 sacks, forced 2 fumbles, and he has an interception. And and all those plays, the turnover changing plays were big plays. You know what I mean? So I think Jamin is a guy that you can definitely have ready for next season as your linebacker, but you got to have somebody beside him that can elevate his play. I think that's fair to say. Somebody who's done it before, done it at a high level, that can elevate his play. You can't have 2 guys, one guy, because Jamin right now in his growth process isn't strong enough to eliminate another weak linebacker. He needs help.
Yes.
To get to his level. You know what I'm saying? That's when Glenn, when he talks about bringing in a Bobby Wagner a couple years ago, or last year or year before last, it made sense because now Jamin can play with somebody who's done it before, played at a high level, and can learn from and become a better linebacker. So, but also like even the Holcomb situation, where Holcomb was a guy who wasn't at the level of Bobby Wagner, but it was a guy that played football for this team. I thought played pretty well for this team. And then you let him go for a guy who's worse than Holcomb, which I thought that was kind of backwards. But yeah, it goes to that. But yeah, I'm with you though. I think that some of these players are better. Like I don't think they're horrible. And Tony, I'll keep saying this. And I'm sure you're a Redskin Commanders fan. I can tell you insightful. You know what you're talking about. I remember when Greg Williams came here the year before, we had the same players and we were trash defensively. And he came in and he made this team a top 3 defense with the same talent. So to your point, it's about scheme. They are in a horrible scheme. The team needs more veteran playmakers. I do think they need some more vets. You can't have nothing but young players. That's why you get crossed up in these coverages, right? You do need some vets. You can't have nothing but young players out there that are getting confused. That's what I said earlier. I think Percy Butler playing free safety you're setting him up for failure. You put too much on his plate. He ain't ready for it. Not yet. Maybe down the road, but right now, this season, he's not. That's not what he's ready for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been a fan. Okay, you get it. I've been a fan since 1982. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So you know all about Greg Williams and what he brought to the table. So you already know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so you've seen it. You know what I'm saying? He's seen it. That's what's up. So you seen what I'm talking about. Yeah, because it's like I felt like I've seen worse, and I've said this in prior podcasts, Glenn. I've seen worse Commanders defense. I mean, defensive talent perform higher than this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I know like this is like this team personnel should be like this team's personnel doesn't match where they rank defensively.
Not at all.
It doesn't. They should be better than that. Like even when they had everybody, when they had Chase, Montez, I kept saying they should be a top 5 defense. I don't care about the top 10. I don't care about being a top 15. I thought they should be in a top 5 defense. That's why I knew there was a problem. Mm-hmm. That's when I totally knew it was a problem. I was like, yeah, you guys are underachieving. This is not like even the Arizona, even the Cardinals game. I was like, folks are like they did good. I was like, nah, they should dominate that team. That team should barely move up the field. With the talent you guys have, like it should be better than that. So, yeah, man, this has been a tough one. But again, like I said, this game is like this show it's always therapeutic. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Always,
all the time. It's therapeutic, man. Get to talk to all other Commander Redskin fans. I mean, I'm back in saying Redskins now. We losing games, so I'm good. I'm cool saying Redskins again.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Redskins.
Yeah, I'm cool saying Redskins. Tony said the problem was devaluing the linebacker position. I agree. The value in that position. Got to make that important.
Gotta make that important, man. You can't keep, and especially from a guy who played linebacker, right? It makes no sense. Guys who play linebacker not valuing a linebacker. It's kind of funny to me, but it is what it is. Like, I mean, hey, Ron living his best life, I guess, being Ron. Oh man, it's been a good though. But it's been a good show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We better close this show out. Hey, but before we close this show out, I just want to make sure if you watch, I just want to let this be known, and Glenn has already mentioned it. If you are watching this on YouTube and you are just for the first time, hey, hit the red subscribe button and like this video. Be a new subscriber, man. We appreciate y'all, man. We do this every week. We do a post and pregame show every week. So go ahead and tune in, subscribe, and we're gonna be here next week doing the same thing. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We also have a podcast during the week, talking about whatever news comes up in Commanderland. Because obviously after this beat down, there's going to be
a lot of news to talk about.
There's going to be some news coming out. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some news coming out. But also you can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. Also, I've already mentioned the YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. If you watch it, subscribe now. Appreciate you all for tuning in. You guys are the real MVPs, man. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We out.